All right, welcome back, guys. So in today's video, we're going to cover two things and how they're going to affect the real estate and the housing market. So number one, we got fresh inflation data that came out. So we're going to cover that. We're going to see how that's going to affect the real estate market. And the other big news that happened last night is the Bitcoin spot ETF approval. So we're going to break that down because that is going to affect real estate. Believe it or not, you may think Bitcoin, what does that have to do with real estate? I will explain why and how that will affect the real estate and the housing market over the next 1 to 2 years. So first, let's look at inflation data. CPI inflation came in at 3.4% year over year. Okay, so it's a tick, just a little tick higher than the reading we had last month. So November year over year was 3.1%. This month's reading, or December's reading, is 3.4%. So slightly higher than we want. It went up a tiny bit, but again, it's not going to come down in a complete straight line. So if you guys remember, in July of 2022, we were at 9% inflation. So just look at how far we've come. We've come from 9.1% down to 3.4%. That's remarkable progress. So if we continue at this pace in the next year or so, we should definitely be under 3, hovering in the 2.5% range. So we're in good shape. We're on track. We have nothing to worry about. The Fed is most likely at their meeting this month going to keep rates steady. And then in their March meeting, they're probably going to cut rates. That's what investors are banking on. That's what investors are predicting. We're going to get a rate cut in March. And again, how that's going to affect mortgage rates is since the Fed's meeting in December, right? They hinted 3 rate cuts in 2024. So since that Fed meeting, mortgage rates have gone from 8% down to right now, we're around 6.5%. So we've come down 1.5% in a very short period of time, guys. That's very, very fast, over 3 months to come down 1.5%. Just to give you an idea, if we went at this pace in another 3 months, by the middle of this year, we could be at 5% mortgage rates. Just think about that for a second, 5% mortgage rates. And that's what's going to help solve the problem, the housing market problem right now, because if you've been watching my videos, I've been saying it over and over again. The issue is supply and demand, right? We've had plenty of demand. We don't have a lot of supply. That's the issue. We have an inventory problem. There's not a lot of houses hitting the market. And the reason for that is because home building is slow. That's the best way to create more housing. But the other main issue is people are locked into their 2 and 3% mortgages. And no one, including myself, wants to trade a 3% mortgage for a 6, 7, or 8% mortgage. Okay. So when mortgage rates, if you've locked in 3% over here, you don't want to go to 6% over here or 7 or 8. But as that gap gets smaller, as rates hit 5 and 4%, you'll have people willing to make the move because there is a lot of pent up demand also, right? So there's a lot of families over the last 2 or 3 years who've had more kids, who are now empty nesters, who want to make a move. Right? There's a lot of people who want to sell and make a move, but they can't because they've locked in that low rate and they don't want to. Hey, my wife just walked in. So they don't want to make that move. So that's the issue. And again, as inflation comes down, we're going to see mortgage rates come down. We're going to see things even out. So we're on pace. We're on track. We're doing great. Okay. So we just need to continue at this pace. Of inflation coming down. The Fed's done a great job. Jerome Powell, great job. Coming down from 9%, we're all the way down to 3.4%. So we're on the right path. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see inflation under 3%. We're going to see it in the 2s. Hey, back to normal. Back to normal. There's no need for the Fed to keep things so tight. They will cut rates. And hopefully, we'll see mortgage rates with a 5 in front of them in 2024. That's what I think. I think that's a no-brainer. I think we're going to hit probably mid 5% range as far as mortgage rates go in the next 12 months. And who knows? Maybe we even see a mortgage rate with a 4 in front of it. It's possible. I don't know if it will happen for sure, but it's definitely possible. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Holy crap. This has been 10 years in the making. And again, I know this is a real estate channel, right? So mortgage channel. So we're going to talk about how that's going to affect the real estate market, because it is. So there's a lot of people who are into Bitcoin, including myself. Again, besides real estate, my other passion when it comes to finances is Bitcoin and crypto, because you can make a lot of money. That's really it. I'm not huge into the use case or using it as payments. It's great, and it's the best investment opportunity of our generation. If you are a millennial and you want to beat this inflation that's been kicking our butt for the last couple of years, Bitcoin is the number one performing asset since its inception 15 years ago. Bitcoin has performed better than every other asset, better than Apple, better than the S&P, better than any bond, just by miles. So anyway, why does that matter? So a lot of people who are in Bitcoin, their plan is once Bitcoin shoots up and they make a profit. By the way, 90% of Bitcoin holders are in profit right now. Prices have gone from 15, 16,000 about a year ago. Now we're at $48,000. So we've 3x. 90% of people, of Bitcoin holders, are in profit, unless you bought at the absolute top at 69,000. Besides those people, you're in a profit. Now, what's going to happen is a lot of these Bitcoin holders, when it comes time to sell, at some point over the next year, you're going to have a lot of sellers of Bitcoin, because it's going to go up to, who knows, 60, 70, 80,000. They're going to move that money to real estate. That's just what's going to happen. A lot of my friends and people I talk to who are early adopters in Bitcoin, who have massive profits, their plan is to move their Bitcoin money into real estate. So now you're going to be seeing a lot more people, maybe cash buyers or larger down payments, people taking out their crypto profits, their Bitcoin profits, using that to buy real estate, because everybody knows the best long-term asset that actually is going to give you cash flow is real estate, right? So when you want to retire, when it comes time to hang them up, or you want to just, nomadic life and you don't want to work a 9 to 5 and you want to start a business, when you have that passive income coming in from real estate, when that tenant pays that rent every single month straight into your bank account, and you're able to live wherever you want, you're able to start your own business, you don't have to work the 9 to 5. That's what everybody wants. That's the dream. And a lot of Bitcoin holders are going to move their Bitcoin profits into real estate. So I think that's going to have a huge impact. We'll probably see more of that impact in 2025. You're probably going to hear of more people moving from Bitcoin, selling, cashing out, buying real estate. Again, lower rates, which are on the horizon, as well as more cash, more, people having more bags moving into real estate, is going to cause home prices to go up. It's just what's going to happen. So that's what all of the people who are in Bitcoin are planning to do. So the Bitcoin ETF finally being approved, it's bringing it to the mainstream. The Bitcoin ETF is going to, the people, the boomer generation, who has all of their money at Fidelity or BlackRock or wherever, can now easily buy Bitcoin, and they don't have to worry about self-custody. That's one of the big issues, is people didn't trust Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX. They don't trust Coinbase. They don't know where the money is. But now you have companies like Fidelity that have been around for hundreds of years, who are now going to take custody of your Bitcoin. They're going to be the ones handling it. So you can easily move some of your money from your traditional retirement accounts, traditional market accounts, and you can buy it through Fidelity. And that's going to be huge. That's going to shoot prices up quite a bit, because that's the generation, the older generation, the boomer generation. They're scared of the Bitcoin, but I think they're going to slowly start adopting it once they become more comfortable. One of the stories I heard was someone on YouTube who's a boomer, and he said the issue is a lot of people who are in their 60s and 50, 60, 70-year-old range, they've had their money. whether it's $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, they've had their money at the same institution for a very, very long period of time. They've had their accounts for 10, 20, 30 years. And just the thought of them having to transfer hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, the idea of having to move hundreds of thousands of dollars through a wire transfer from your trusted source in Fidelity, right? Or wherever you hold your money, Morgan Stanley, you hold the money there for 30 years, you trust your money there, right? It's safe. The idea of transferring hundreds of thousands of dollars to Coinbase, to your ledger, it's just not something boomers are comfortable with. They just aren't. And in a way, I don't blame them. That's the generation they grew up in. All this stuff is very new. Having your ledger, having your keys, I mean, you're carrying around hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of dollars. So, so that's something they're not comfortable with. And now the fact that they can easily move the money from their Fidelity account from their retirement account, and Fidelity's handling it, it doesn't need to transfer or wire transfer from this institution to another institution. That's what's going to make a lot more money flow in and shoot the prices up even more. It's already 3x in about a year. So, a lot of people are saying 100, 150, 200,000. I don't know. I'm more conservative. I think Bitcoin might reach 100. If not, I think more likely is 80,000. That might be it for this cycle. But anyway, who knows? But that's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to take that Bitcoin profit and move it into real estate. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you find any value, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.